Tetzaveh. So this Parsha, we know Moshe's name is not mentioned. We were actually discussing this morning Moshe's prayer, talking to Hashem about erasing his name from the book if Hashem doesn't forgive Klal Israel. And today happened to be your side of Moshe Rabbeinu too. So this parasha is all about Aaron and his children. Last week parasha also was intention for Aaron, but Moshe was running the show of construction.
Does this parasha always falls on his birthday?
No, not necessarily. It could, but not necessarily. So this week's parasha, Moshe didn't want to be there even. Sometimes you want to give the spotlight to somebody else. You don't have to be always under spotlight and share the stage. It could be strong and confident enough to let go and let somebody else enjoy the spotlight, right? So Aaron and his children basically are going to have a lot of garments to wear, and the Seder Avodah, whatever they did on a daily basis, this parasha talks about. And we have one last, two more items for the Beit HaMikdash that hasn't been discussed yet for the Mishkan. One is the small Mizbeach Ktoret, the golden altar, not the Nechoshet, not the one that we had before, the big one, small one. And also I think in Parsha Tetzaveh, it's going to talk about the water station, the Khakshoor. There also was one of the appliances in the Mishkan for to wash your hands, your feet. That will be discussed next week. So 5 parashiyot of Torah all talks about either garments, the commandments of making the garments, commandments of making the different parts of the Mishkan, and actual doing it. The financing part of it and actual doing it. So Terumat, Tetzaveh, Kitisa, and Vayachel Pikudei. So 5 weeks to talk about Mishkan. I want to, Velina just say a couple of nice words that I heard from different people. One from the beginning of the parsha, it talks about making the oil. It was a very special oil for the menorah. We talked about menorah last week. It has to be a pure oil, right? Not only pure oil. Only the first drop of each olive would be used. That's the purest, and the rest is going to be a little bit of a leftover, the shamarim, some of the pisolet, the extra part of the shemer goes in it. So, but the olive oil for Beit HaMikdash was different than any olive oil you could find on the market. They all say pure olive oil, but who knows what pure means. They might recycle the peel 20 times, but they can't make it pure. It looks pure. But that was very pure. So it was supposed to be very pure. Number 2, when the Kohen Gadol lit the menorah, was supposed to keep the light so long that when he moved his hand off of the menorah, you see the light already. Sometimes you light a candle, it takes a few seconds to turn on and get fire all over. For the shalhevet, for the flame to be, strong. I mean, you could do it. You could, touch the wick, and it will catch on. Kohen couldn't do it. The Kohen couldn't do it. You had to keep right. You have to keep your hands on, right, to make sure when you take it off, it's all emeliah. It's already, is lit. So Mefarshim say menorah represents spirituality. Right, ruchniut, Torah, mitzvot, and lighting a menorah, it shows teaching Torah to the next generation, education of our kids.
So the oil itself is knowledge.
Ner mitzvah Torah or the oil itself or the candle itself, right? But the light of it is learning the Torah. That's the highest, that's the highest level of mitzvot, is to learn Torah. Obviously, you have to have mitzvot. We don't have Torah. We do Torah in order to do mitzvot. If you learn, you don't keep them, no good, right? But the highest level is learning Torah. So Mufashim say, why? I heard this also in a chinuch convention. They said that why did Torah command to keep, lehalot? You have to make sure it's going to go up.
So the menorah basically represents us, and they have to light it up with the knowledge of the mitzvot and the.
Correct. That's right. But when you teach Torah to somebody, especially your kids, you have to make sure it's a pure Torah, right? Shemen Zayd Zach has to be Zach. Zach or Zakah, it means pure, genuine. You can't mix Torah with other, motives, other material to teach people. Torah has to be pure. What Hashem told us, Mount Sinai, what we have in our books, this is it, right? It has to be very, very pure. And you have to make sure your son, your daughter, your student catch on the Torah before you let go. I said it. Okay, what can I do? I announced it.
That's why
you have to light the menorah. Okay, maybe for the menorah, it takes 3 seconds to catch on. For your son, for your daughter, for your student, it could take 3 times, 10 times, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You can't let go. Because I told my son, I told my wife, I told my kids, I told my family, do mitzvot, do good. I did my obligation. I'm done. Laha'alot ner tamid. You have to make sure constantly that light is going to be lit. You don't want to let go of it before you make sure, right? It's very, very important because you could raise a son or a daughter up to 5, 10, 15 years. Oh, it's good. Who said it's going to be good when it's 20? Especially nowadays, society, things could change around all of a sudden. God forbid, a lot of people take the wrong turn. It's so much influence out there. So many, things that maybe 20, 50, 100 years ago, say, out of your mind, what are you talking about? Hopefully we get some common sense back to the country, to the society. But a lot of this, everything has become okay. What can you tell anybody? Everything's okay. People are doing it. So
they do it on purpose because they don't believe in God.
For sure. So we have to make sure if we have influence, we are lighting a menorah, the menorah is going to catch on. It's not going to, turn off after a second or two. That's called chinuch. Chinuch means education, upbringing of our kids. Very, very important. You have to stick up for a long time. You have to hang around for a long time to make sure things go okay. Even after they get married, you still have to support them. You have to educate them. You have to be with them. Obviously, you cannot impose on them what to do. They're already older. They are married. But a person should always have in mind. Make sure the menorah is lit. La'alot ner tamid. You make sure with the pure Torah, with the pure education, they're educated and they keep on the fire. That's how you pass down the torch. You make sure that their torch is lit completely and they can carry on. So after the mitzvah of lighting the menorah, Torah talks about the garments. Aaron Cohen had 8 separate garments, beautiful garments, also expensive. A lot of gold jewelry, were used in the garments. Even the wool was mixed with gold. Linen was mixed with gold. It's a very complex making. So you have to be very talented. We'll talk about Bezalel ben Uri ben Hur, right? A genius young man who was a head contractor, right? This was a very sophisticated process. Even the Mishkan itself wasn't easy. Working with gold, so design of menorah, design of shulchan, design of easy things to do. Jews in Egypt, they were not goldsmiths. They were a bunch of construction workers. They know how to make bricks, how to put mud, and to make a house. That's all it is. Right. Betzalel ben Uri ben Hur was appointed to lead all this parashut. Basically, Moshe didn't do it. Moshe commanded it. Make sure everything is done correctly. But who's in charge? A very young boy, Betzalel ben Uri ben Hur. We'll talk about it next week. His name is mentioned next week, but already when we learn the Parsha, we see how complex the work was. Rashi says, if I want to explain everything to you, you go crazy. You go out of your mind. There's no way I tell you very simply what they did. But the work was a very, very detailed. So why do we need to have these beautiful garments, expensive garments for Kohen Gadol? And also Kohen, especially for regular Kohen would get 4 garments. Kohen Gadol would get 8. So Ramban says, the Torah says, these beautiful, not beautiful, it calls it holy garments for Aaron, lechavod ultifaret, as an honor, and ultifaret as glory. You have to make beautiful things, respectful things for Aaron HaKohen. Why? Says the Ram, and beautiful Ramban says, Ela begadim levushim malchut hen. These garments, we at the time, the kings used to wear it. Royalty. In the time of the Torah, that's how a king would wear. Nowadays, you see a king wearing a suit, right? King Trump wears a suit. King Charles wears a suit. King of Jordan, right? King of Jordan wears a suit. Maybe in Africa, some kings wear special garments. But in modern countries, I think most kings. How many more kings we got in Europe?
Military suits that they have.
But the king, even I think king of Iran, Shah, wore a suit. Maybe in his inaugural or something.
In his argument.
He wore something beautiful. But the time of Torah, that's I think 100, 200 years ago, king, you have to wear something, majestic. You can't wear a regular suit. And I guess their suit and our suit is different. They wear a couple of $1,000 suits and not a few $100 suits. But a person, a Kohen, should look like a king. What does that teach us? That a person working for Hashem, doing mitzvot, Kohen Gadol, obviously, was the highest level of working for Hashem. He would work in the house of God every day as our agent, our representative for God. You have to know, when you are serving God, you have to look beautiful. You have to be very respected. You should feel like a king. Take it lightly. We come to shul. No, you go to shul. You're serving God. You are the Kohen Gadol. You should look like a king. In yeshiva circles, they have a very strict. Many yeshivot they have a strict policy that you want to pray in yeshiva, you have to wear a suit, you have to wear a jacket for sure, and a hat. Rabbi Heinemann, if I heard him himself say it, or someone told me in his name, the Rabbi, is a very one of the older Rabbanim of Baltimore. He said that if you miss your hat, you don't have your hat on with you. Better to miss the minyan and go get your hat and wear a hat as you daven. Don't daven without a hat. That's strict Rabbi Heinemann was. I said that's how you present. You look more official. You're praying. You're talking to God. You shouldn't. Obviously, he was wearing a kippah, but you should wear your hat. Praying to Hashem, very, very important. Don't take it lightly. If you're in yeshiva, I guess that's what a person does. But in general, a person should feel the same. Should feel very very chashuv. You have to feel very important when you do mitzvah. Oh, I have to say Shema. Oh, I have to make kiddush. Yeah, should be very proud. I used to not wear a hat when I made kiddush. I changed my mind. When I learned this a couple of years ago, I said, no, I wear my hat to make kiddush. And at home. I wear my hat, my suit. After that, after Hamotzi, I take off my hat. I take my jacket off. I'm more comfortable. But a person should feel that you're doing it's a last week Zelensky visited White House. Didn't go too good, and I changed his mind later. But what were people complaining about him?
It's disrespectful.
His dress, not what he said. Oh, that's what you want to do for your country. You don't like it. You're not makir tov. You don't appreciate what you do for you. But okay. But the dress code, everybody was and they didn't have that problem with Musk. Elon Musk could wear more casual. Nobody
He's
cares.
not the head of the country.
Yeah, right. But when you come to the White House, you have to feel, give more importance to the country, more to the White House of the country, to the president. When you come close to Hashem, you're doing his mitzvah. Our shul is no less than White House, for sure. We do a lot of mitzvot here. They do some mitzvot there too, but not everything is a mitzvah over there. If they support Israel, there's a mitzvah.
There's no cocaine in here.
I hope. They talk about it, but I hope
They only have hashishi.
Today's Hashishi, yeah. So, but the person should feel very, very proud when doing a mitzvah. And one way that you show is your dress code. Something that's very, very serious. You go to a serious meeting, okay, maybe nowadays not everybody wears a suit, but they wear something, more classy, more, more formal. So that's how a person should do when you do a mitzvah. I have a Rabbi, one of my first year Rabbi Shagi Newberger. He's very funny. He said, sometimes you go home after a wedding, you travel to the wedding, you came back tired, in the pajama, you go to bed, like, I forgot to daven. I didn't daven Arabit yet. I didn't daven Arabit yet. So I can't daven in pajamas. I have to get dressed. I go again, I wear the suit. I get my hat on. I wash my hands. As soon as I want to start davening, I go, I daven Arabit. There was a minyan under the chup. After the chol of the minyan, I already daven. Go back to work. So something you have to keep in mind. Doing a mitzvah has to be important to us. Especially when we go to shul, a person should feel like shul has even other nations, other religions. To go to the temple, the church, they're dressed so modest. First of all, you don't see anyone immodest in going to church. They're wearing ladies wearing a hat, long dress, covered up. Unbelievable. They know. I don't think they have a mitzvah, but they know going to a church or to a temple, you have to dress differently. Right? And some people actually don't come to our shul because I'm not dressed properly, which is very important. We come to a shul, the person should be a bit different. Right? It's a holy place. We have a closer connection to Hashem. We have Torah out. The person should dress differently. Should keep the kedusha of the shul in mind when he gets close to comes to the shul. So I said Bezalel ben Uri ben Chur. So I said two ideas. Before we go to Bezalel, there is he brings down from the Yerucham Lebovitz, the Mashkiach of Mir. My friend says something nice on the menorah. It says that why did Hashem tell us to make a menorah? Hashem doesn't need light, right? What do you need light in Beit HaMikdash for? Right? Why did Hashem say, you have to make a light? Yeah, he provided lighting for 40 years in the desert. Now he says, I want you to make a small menorah. So Midrash says, Rabbi brings down that it's like a blind person and a regular person who are walking in a dark forest, and the regular was providing company for the guy to get to he was holding a candle or something to get to the destination. When he got to the destination, that person asked the blind person, "Can you light a candle for me? Do me a favor, do a candle for me." That's what Hashem did. He provided 40 years. There was an Amud Esh, a pillar of Esh, a fire, to protect, to bring light for Jews. And then after, it says that in Beit HaMikdash, in Mishkan, used to be a small light, a menorah, 7 small lights. Why? That's what Midrash says. You see, Hashem has done a great favor. He has asked something very small, she doesn't even need it, in return. That teaches us a very important lesson. When you do a favor for somebody, especially if you do a big favor to somebody, and he asks to do a favor, take the favor. He says mostly when you've done a huge favor to somebody, what can I do for you? You say, don't worry about it. Don't mention it. Why? Because I've done such a big favor for you. What do you want to do for me? I want to keep that favor one way. I want you to be always, you should always owe me the favor. I'm not going to cash it, but it's good for him to be indebted to me. Hashem teaches the other way around. You have done someone a big favor, found him a job, you found him his wife, you fixed a big problem in their life. He needs, you could say, can you give me a cup of tea? Small favor. I asked you, can I return to him? Yeah, can you do this small? Can you give me a cup of tea? Go to a coffee shop, get something small. But it's also did something back.
So they don't feel indebted?
Always, right. A person should. Hashem knows that you have done something much greater. You save his life. He gave him a life. He gave him a job. You gave him parnasa. You gave him a big loan. He wouldn't do it without you. But just like Hashem provided the light for us for 40 years, what would we do without the light in the deserts? That Amud Esh, all the enemies, animals will tear us apart. But Hashem provided, make me a small menorah. It shows that a person should let other people also feel good about themselves. You don't chesed, chazak baruch, Hashem will pay you in the right time. But let other people also have some, they should enjoy the relationship. They shouldn't be only one way. People don't like to be one way. Most people feel happy when they are returning a chesed. They're not only a taker, they're a giver. I think their giving is very small, right? People want to participate something. Take it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Huge help. That's the menorah. So I said that the whole Parsha was done by Betzalel ben Uri ben Chur. He was a very genius person. He was very young, but a genius person. Midrash says Betzalel did this when he was how many years old? He was bar mitzvah, 13 years old. Moshe appointed his sister's grandson, Betzalel ben Uri ben Chur, right? Chur was son of Miriam, so he's the great grandson of ben Uri ben Chur, right? 3 generations down after Miriam, great grandson of Miriam. So if you look at the Torah, our friend brings down that this unbelievable connection between the grandfather and the grandson, and why Moshe or Hashem picked this boy, little boy. Can you imagine? Millions of people are waiting to build the most precious construction in the world, and it's such a complex garment. And a little boy, a young man, right after bar mitzvah, should be able to do it. So it says that if you look back, the grandfather was killed just a few months before this project starts. When Moshe went to Har Sinai and he stayed there for extra 40 days to get the Torah, we know the story. Erev Rav started the plan to distract Jews from Moshe. Moshe not coming back. He's dead. He's late. So we're going to worship the idol. And the golden calf, Elazar, will be our next leader to connect to Hashem. So who was the first one So it's also they were happy, enjoying it. They were making a party. A lot of people were attracted to this new idea. We lost a lot of people after math. So there's so many people excited, partying for the golden calf. Who went against the odds and he said, "There's no way we're not going to let this happen." Even Aaron gave in. Aaron said, "They're going to kill me."
Samson's grandfather.
Khur said, "No, that's not we can't do it." He stood up to the crowd, to the mob. Let's call him a mob, right? Anyone with the right head, with the right brain, what will say? Be quiet. You're not gonna wait till Moshe comes. He's gonna take care of them. Aaron also gave in. Not that he liked their idea. I said, let me play around with time. I'm gonna buy time. I'm gonna, wait till tomorrow. Moshe will for sure come back. But Khur was such a strong person. He said, I'll go against the odds. No. People should know that the wrong thing is the wrong thing. We're not going to do it. Unfortunately, they killed Khur right on the spot, right? And the rest is the history of 17th of Tammuz. So, said my friend, if you look at Khur's personality, didn't make sense. Why would he stand up for this? You're crazy. Don't do it. You're going to lose your life. Everyone else kept quiet. Khur was the only one sticking up and say, wrong, we won't do it. Now, look at the grandson. Should we say the same thing? When Moshe offered the plan, everyone said, Moshe, look at us. Do we know how to make this garments, to this construction? So much gold to deal with, so much wool, linen. This is not our job. We are not used to this. It's not our expertise. The grandson, Betzalel, said, we could do it against all odds. He said, this doesn't make sense. He said, I'm used to doing things that doesn't make sense. All right. My grandfather lost his life. It didn't make sense either, but want to do the right thing. I'm ready to do it. She said, the gene is working. Grandfather lost his life for Hashem. Now the grandson will build a Mishkan for Hashem. So that's why the Torah usually never says the grandfather's name. You don't say, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, or Yitzchak ben Abraham. You don't say Yaakov ben Yitzchak ben Abraham. Who cares the grandfather? Just say the father's name. So, my friend, the only time you see in the Torah, a couple of times, it says, Betzalel ben Uri ben Khur. What do I need to know about Khur? She would say, the grandfather's death, right? Transferred a message to his family that you stand up and do the right thing. Whether it's right, whether it's hard or easy, things have to be done. That's what Betzalel did. And in the end, we'll see Moshe will tell Betzalel, you are more of a chacham than me even. You read Hashem's mind better than me. Because Moshe first said, make the appliances and then make the Mishkan. Betzalel did not do that. He changed the order. He first made the panels, the Mishkan, and then he did the appliances. Why are you doing it? He said, Moshe, well, I'm going to put the appliances that you told me to build. First, you have to make a house, and then put the furniture in. So Besal Kel, you're in the shadow of God. Wow. That's what Hashem meant too. I said the other way around, but that's what Hashem exactly meant. But it all originated from a grandfather was Musa Nefesh, who did the right thing. Sometimes we do something right, and it's very hard for us, costly to us, and say, why did I do this? I didn't have to do it. Nobody did it. Hashem will bring it back for your children, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren. You don't see all the results right away. Many things in our life is not instant coffee. You pour water, it doesn't come out coffee, right? You have to wait a long time. You have to see the seeds being planted, the tree. The fruits come in a very long time. But Khur never saw his grandson building the Mishkan. He was killed. But the message was very clear. One last idea before we go to get more ready for Shabbat. This is also getting ready for Shabbat, but in a spiritual way. You have to do some physical preparations too. So my Rav shared this Ramban with me. So Ramis asked the following question. He said, why did Hashem leave the Mizbech Ketoret, the golden Mizbech, the golden altar, but small, much smaller, right? Amma by Amma, right?
Incense.
For incense offering. There were two usages, and that's it. Incense offering and
Yom Kippur.
very excellent. On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol would put the blood. Never ever blood would go on that altar. Only on Yom Kippur, the Torah says in the end, "V'chiper Aharon al karnotav." There were, 4 horns around the thing. Once a year, midam chatat kippurim, from the dam, the blood of korban chatat of Yom Kippur, he would atone for the whole generation, right? Kodesh Kodashim hu LaHashem, and that would be holy of the holy. So this mizbeach was, like everything else, was made from wood but covered with gold. The other mizbeach was much bigger in size, but was covered by nechosher, copper, and inside was dirt. Because imagine you're burning, fire all day, all night, and there's so much. That's called mizbech adama, right? It was dirt inside to fill up the gap, the air inside. But here it was much smaller, wood but covered with gold. You have to, tabaot, rings around it to carry it, and the badim, the poles, the sticks to carry them. And Aaron Cohen was supposed to use it, Ketoret Samim, the incense offering, every morning after he would clean the menorah, and in the afternoon again when he would light the menorah. So Torah says that Lo ta'alu alav ketoret zara, nothing else could go on it. Olam, mincha, nesech, nothing could, no wine, no flour offering, no animal offering, nothing. Only the incense offering and the dam, the blood of the Yom Kippur. So now, so my Rabbi asked, why this was left out to be in this Parsha? Why not in the last Parsha? We talked about, Aaron Ha'edut, the box for the, for the luchot. We talked about menorah, shulchan, the panels, everything for the Mishkan. So the furniture basically was last week's Parsha. This is all garments, right? Why Hashem left it here? Why the Torah decided to put this in this week's Parsha? Out of place. So he says, the Ramban says, he's a Mizbech HaKetoret. This Mizbech, this altar from the appliances inside the Mishkan, really should have been mentioned before with the Shulchan, the Menorah, all of those things. And he said, if you look at the Parshat Vayakhel, when they did it, that's where the Torah says, together with them. So, after the time last Khan, why after Hashem talked about Mishkan, we talked all about Mishkan, all the vessels and korbanot. We talk about some korbanot here, and now we go back to Mizbech Ketoret, because Hashem said v'nikdash bichvodi. Pasuk Mem Gimel. He says that Nu'ati Shama, I will appear to you over there in the Mishkan, Livnei Israel, for Jews. V'nikdash bichvodi. It will be sanctified with my honor. There's a lot of honor involved. What's the honor? Right? So now I have honor. Now everything is completed. You build I told you about the Mishkan. What about the garments? Korbanot. What is one honor? What's my honor? That honor means Aaron HaKohen. You're the one serving the Beit HaMikdash. You're the most the honor of the whole Mishkan now starts because everything is complete. Moshichina will come down, Shachanti v'toch bnei Israel. So, who could have touched this Mizbeach only? Aaron HaKohen, right? Who would atone for generations? Kodesh Kodashim. Aaron, nobody else could touch it. Hashem wants to show this Parsha is all about Aaron. I want to show people how important Aaron is. My servant in the Beit HaMikdash, somebody whose life will be dedicated to service of God. This is another reason that Mizbach Ketoret, Hashem said, you have to make a Mizbach Ketoret, this altar for an incense offering. And there was a secret that Hashem gave to Moshe. Said this Ketoret will stop Magefa. We see in Parshat Korach, Jews start dying because they followed Korach, they didn't listen to Hashem. So Moshe Rabbeinu told Aaron, go bring the incense up. He said, why? So Hashem told me there is Gemara says Satan told him there's a secret. Anytime that people are dying, do Ketoret. Incense offering stops people from dying. So says the Ramban something very interesting. He says because Ketoret is Midat Hadin, the judgment of Hashem. Ketoret, why? Because Pasuk says, Moshe Rabbeinu said about Levim, Yasima Ketorah ba'apecha. They will put Ketorah, the incense offering, in your nose. When you get angry, where does it show that you're angry? For some reason, nose gets hot. That's why in Shema Yisrael we say, V'chara api, V'chara af Hashem. You know, the nose of Hashem gets angry. Well, it's a metaphor, but nose, when someone is angry, try to remember next time I get angry. If my nose gets more heated up. Sounds like the nose has to do with... So when Hashem made the Mishkan ready, when everything is complete, we have the Mishkan, we have the garments, we have the korbanot going, and Kavod Hashem comes completely, then Torah says, Val kol penei ha'am echaved. I want to bring more kavod for myself in front of the nation. It says over there that Hashem does not forgive if someone is sinning. My kavod is not going to forgive you, so I'm going to be angry. And the Ketoret is the remedy. So the Ramban is saying that the reason Hashem, the second reason he says, first is just to show how Hashem loves Aaron HaKohen. It's most kavod. After it's complete, let me tell you what Aaron could do. But also he says that when Hashem's glory is complete, kavod is complete, Hashem deals with the Midat Hadin. Hashem deals with a very strong, rule. Does not forgive. Very strict. That's why we see Aaron's sons died when the Mishkan was complete. When Hashem is in a complete honor, he wants to show that there's not a joke. What can override that anger? Ketoret. Ketoret can override that anger. So that's why when Hashem completed the mitzvot of building the Mishkan, the garments and actual offerings that they're going to bring, the Olat Tamid in the morning, Olat Tamid in the afternoon, Miluim, all the 7 days, what they did, all the family of Moshe and Aaron did. Now it says, when everything is complete, the rule is complete. I have to be judgmental. What can ease the judgment? The Ketoret. So the Ramban, that's why put the Ketoret in the end to show, yes, there will be a harsh time after everything is complete, but as long as you have Ketoret and Aaron could bring Ketoret, that's the secret. I will override it. So why Ketoret is so important that Hashem forgives because of Ketoret? What's so special about Ketoret? Why not other mitzvot? Hashem said, if you bring Ketoret, I stop my judgment. Midat Hadin will stop. I once heard, I think Rabbi brings down, that Ketoret showed unity of Jewish nation. Because 10 out of 11 incenses that they brought smelled good. There was one that smelled really bad. Chilbana was a very bad smelling incense.
That's part of it.
But Hashem said everyone has to be together. You can't let go of one section. So it says 10 good people, right? 10 good people, 10 good groups, 10 good smelling incense, one bad smell. We have to be together, right? That's why it says in Taniyot, when you're fasting, you have to bring, Rishonim also into the fast in the shul. Don't stop, don't exclude them. But Ketoret has such a powerful koach. Overrides the anger. Even the anger that Hashem says, this is my kavod. I have to show that my glory is complete. I have to do midat hadin. Pasuk says, Moshe Rabbeinu said to Levim, Yasimu ketorah be'apecha. Levim, the Kohen, will put ketorah, the offering, the incense offering, in your nose, in your anger. Hashem could let go of his anger if Jews are nice to each other. They're more accepting each other and they're more united.
That's why now that we do tefillah, we do the Ketoret at the end.
That's why we have Ketoret. That's why we have twice. We have 3 times. They did it twice a day in Time of Mikdash, but we read it 3 times. We do one before Baruch Shamar, one end of Shacharit, and one for Mincha. Right? Ketoret is a very, very, very powerful mitzvah. Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Reading Ketoret on our own.
That's also very good. Yes, that's also very good.
From beginning to end.
Correct. That's very good.
مقدمه چیزی لازم داره؟
نه همون چیزایی که